Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Jared Sebesta of Taatjes Financial Group, where we build purposeful retirement plans. At Taatjes Financial Group, we believe retirement planning is so much more than just preparing financially. Our goal is to help retirees and pre-retirees steward their time, talent, and treasure. We have the tools and proven process to make sure your retirement plan delivers the greatest purpose, impact, and legacy. If you need help building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your life and your retirement, please give us a call. Our number is 320-222-4236. You can request a meeting online at taatjesfinancial.com. And if you live in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We're located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. Well, thank you so much for tuning in here today. We sure do appreciate that. Very exciting this week because in a few days, on Thursday, we are having our annual Fall Kickoff Open House. Once again, we are doing this. We've done this now at least, 3, 4, 5, 6 years now. It's coming up on the 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. This is when we get the big tent out in our parking lot. And every year we have the Back 40 Family Farm come in to cook us their famous wood-fired pizzas, which we love so much. They're a fan favorite. We bring them back every year. They're going to be back. We have door prizes like every year, wine, cupcakes, fun, popcorn, more, the whole bit. If you are a client and want to come on out that day, we sure do encourage you to do so. Bring a friend or two. And if you are not a client, again, come on out. If you want to meet the team, see what we're all about, see our building, come chat with one of our team members, again, come out and check us out. The annual Fall Kickoff Open House this Thursday on the 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. at our parking lot on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer. We hope to see you there. Ben Taatjes joins me on the show here today, and talking about fall, we mentioned how things are kind of transitioning and how we are now kind of through the first 3 quarters of the year last week on the show, and this is a great time to do a little inventory of our plan, but also kind of start thinking about what needs to happen this final quarter of the year, right?
Yeah, and before we get to that, Jared, super excited about this, the event that we had coming up, man. It does tend to signify, fall for me. It's like, okay, we're getting busy. In fact, many times a lot of our farm clients are saying, oh man, we wish we could come, but hopefully, just stop by, grab we'll go get you a pizza, take out to the field if you need to, because I know this year things have really progressed in the field. So, I love fall. It's always, I grew up on a farm, Jared, so it's always one of this time of year I look around, it's like, man, things get busy in the fields, and maybe that's because I was born on a farm and I worked on the farm back in the day, but it seems we get busier too in the fall, and we really start to be able to put together work for our clients that is meaningful and life-changing. Yeah. And I think this is a great time to do that.
Yeah, certainly that summer is not quiet in our office by any means, but yeah, I think there's a sense in the air like it's time to get back to business. Pretty much all schools are in progress now. Sports have started. And I think that there is a parallel between kind of that mindset, especially in this part of the country, and our business. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's get a little bit more kind of tactical, some things that people can kind of put on their radar, could be or should be doing this time of the year.
Yeah, and I'll talk specifically as first point to retirees and non-retirees both. I think it's really important that you just know what your income was for the year so far and get a plan so you know how much income have I had so far and how much will I bring in before the end of the year. Yeah. So a lot of our clients who are retirees, that looks like, we're adding that together. We're figuring out all their different sources of income, and then we're seeing if there's any changes to that, right? And we're projecting through the end of the year dividends and interest and their distributions from retirement accounts, things like that. If you're working still, you get a year-to-date payroll summary. You go to your employer and say, I want year-to-date numbers. And then you start to look at your full picture. And the reason we want to do that is twofold, Jared. Number one, I want to make sure I'm maximizing tax brackets. So tax brackets, of course, we're really getting the most income in the lower tax brackets as possible. We want to make sure we're not missing that. But then the second point of this is we also want a budget. And this sounds funny. I always like, well, yeah, for the guy working, that makes sense, Ben. Yeah, we're working, so I'm trying to decide how much I can save, okay? And that always makes sense to me. How much can I save and put away for retirement someday? That's your pre-retiree. But I think a budget and knowing what money's coming in and what's going out is even more important for a retiree.
Sure.
Because for that retiree, I want to show them that, hey, you brought in, let's say you've got $180,000 of income this year. You got RMDs and Social Security and all these other sources of income, maybe rent from an apartment, and you're only spending 100.
Right.
Okay. What are you doing? What should you be doing differently
Sure.
between now and then? Should there be charitable giving? Should you just be taking trips? Should you be utilizing what you've been stewarded, to make a difference in either your family, do some family year-end gifting.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that, again, we want to know total income and project that through the end of the year so we can make some meaningful changes.
Yeah, tax planning, financial planning, retirement planning, they all go hand in hand. So that's certainly a really good way to look at it. What's another one?
Well, I think it's September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. I think they created that just so insurance agents could sell products.
They also created
people,
it.
the people, right?
Right.
But I do think there's some. I think it's not a bad thing to make sure you know how much life insurance you have. Will it cover the needs that the unforeseen event? But I think also just know that our lives change.
Yeah,
We're always seeing changes, and that means maybe your incomes went up and you haven't boosted your life insurance coverage. Maybe you don't need the life insurance anymore. You've been paying premiums all these years, and potentially maybe your insurance product isn't performing as good as you thought.
Yeah.
So we do that a lot with clients, get them in and just, here's what you own, here's who owns it, here's the beneficiaries, here's the way the current policy is performing, and here's some potential changes. So again, it's a great time to just review all of that life insurance for what type, what cost, the goals, and really make some decisions based on that.
It's probably a good idea to do that with all of your insurances. We just did a revamp on our home insurance because the values have changed, our life has changed, we've got more stuff. So I think that's a good rule of thumb. What's another one?
Well, I think this year specifically, Jared, I want to make sure that nobody's missing out on the higher interest rates that our banks are paying. Banks or other products that are more guaranteed in nature. For years, it was like, well, yeah, I got this money sitting in the bank. It isn't hurting me much. I mean, nobody's paying anything. You can't say that anymore. Interest rates are so much higher than what they were. We're seeing people that just need to make an inventory of all of their cash, and even if they're saving, they should be saving it properly, getting more, because the bank, I'm sorry, they're not going to call you and say, by the way, you're only getting 1% and you should be getting 5%. They're not going to do that to you, so you've got to be proactive on your own.
The next one, I'm guessing, has to do with kind of just the general plan here going forward.
Yeah, I think we'll end with that. I mean, generally look at your overall financial picture, right, and start planning. I think if you're not planning, you're going to drift way off course. That happens in life, right? If we're not being diligent about a plan, we're not going to get to our destination, right? We'll veer off. Even if you're a slight bit off a degree or two, long term, you're going to end up in a different state. I don't want that. I want you to get to the point where your plan is being followed and watched. And I think part of that is really monitoring. Are those investments meeting those goals that we have, whether it be education, retirement, we're saving for a new home purchase in a few years, maybe it's a second residence, all these things. Yeah. Every single one of our investments, everything that we're stewarding should be part of an overall goal. So whenever I look at clients' accounts, I like to say, okay, what's the goal for this money? And then is the current investment plan aligning with what your goal is? And then it comes down to education, right? Showing our clients that, yeah, we can make some meaningful improvements to your situation, help you understand it better, because, yeah, the markets have been good this last year, but that doesn't always happen, right? We know that you've got to be prepared for what's next.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Ben. Well, are you ready to begin building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your life and your retirement? If so, we can help. We have a number of ways you can set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. First, give us a call at 320-222-4236. You can stop by our website at taatjesfinancial.com. And if you live in West Central Minnesota, you can stop by our office. We are located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm Jared Sebesta. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.